After completing one of the Cyberpunk Prologue missions, the game plays a short montage depicting V's life over the course of 6 months. While it features several scenes that can be easily identified in-game, others are a bit of a mystery. Since you can see your V during a few moments, some of it is clearly rendered in-game. But you may be surprised to know that every location in this prologue montage is part of a custom block that is only rendered for the montage. So even familiar locations have been re-rendered, and it means that the whole thing is rendered in-game. During this montage, V is teleported around this mysterious place. I know of 2 videos covering this area, which are the ones by Sir MZK and Deconstructing the Game. They're both good videos and I highly recommend watching them, but I always wanted to give my own take on this place. So in this video, we'll be going scene by scene and analyzing the custom block as well as where these places might be located in actual Night City. For starters, in order to get to this area, you need 2 mods from Deceptious on Nexus Mods. The first is a core mod that is needed for their other mods to function. The second is a mod called Locations Unlocked. This will spawn the montage area in the game world as well as other locations that are only spawned for certain game sequences, like the Hammer Club. Check out my second Out of Bounds video for more on that location. I also recommend the Free Fly No Clip mod to traverse the area. Most areas do have ground collision so you can walk them on foot, and the mod provides a way to bounce around between the rooms, but No Clip is always convenient to have. Once you've installed the mods and visit V's apartment, they will activate. Then through text messages, you can teleport to this location. On the map, it's located out of bounds by the corner of the protein farm. It's actually close to the Anthony Harris Braindance School in Langley. So the 3 of these kind of make an unholy Bermuda Triangle of out of bounds madness. Let's begin with the first shot of the montage. This shows V and Jackie walking up a long street. From the red accents on the street, you might deduce that this is in Japantown somewhere. That would be correct, as this location actually does exist in the game at the intersection of Broad and Willow, close to the Silk Road West terminal. Since the scene takes place at the bottom of the hill, they gradually reduce the detailing as you head up the street. On occasion, the entire area may despawn if you go far enough, so you'll need to reload it with the text command. There's actually a decent amount of detailing up the side areas that you can't really see during the montage. The entire pedestrian bridge is fully modeled. Looking left down Willow, you can see a decent amount of street rendered that way. Looking right, not as much. The cars are completely stationary, although with how quickly the scene plays out, you could just assume they were stopped for a red. Some of them are very low resolution, but they were also cleverly shrouded by the lighting and smoke. This street and the surrounding buildings make up the majority of this custom block. The next scene takes place in the Wells house, first in the living room and then up the stairs into Jackie's bedroom. When using the mod's teleport function, this is where it first spawns you. In terms of placement in the block, it's floating at the lower end of the big street. The living room may look familiar, and that's because there are at least 3 houses in-game that feature a nearly identical layout. These are Juliet Horrigan's house in the Santo Gig Family Matters, Zuleika's house from the Joshua Stevenson questline, and Anthony Harris's house at Edgewood Farm from the Riverside job The Hunt. Of the 3, the living room is definitely most similar to Juliet's house. Unlike the other houses, there is no kitchen or side room modeled in the Wells house, as that area is never shown in the montage. Heading upstairs, the montage cuts from the stairs straight to the bedroom, so the hallway didn't have to be detailed. Every house has a main bedroom, with Zuleika's being the most different. The second room is where things get interesting. In Juliet and Anthony Harris's house, this is a bathroom. In Zuleika's house, this room is another bedroom, as there's a bathroom located on the main floor. In Mama Wells' house, this room is an exact copy of the main bedroom, and the reason being is because this is how the mirror effect was done. So what you're seeing is V and the first-person camera placed in front of a hole in the wall, and another V, Jackie, and the bedroom fully modeled on the other side. This has been a trick in various forms of media for a long time. You might have seen this clip from Boundary Break of the Walking Dead Telltale game. They use the same trick for a reflection of a car's rearview mirror. Despite Jackie's bedroom being mostly viewed through the mirror shot, it's actually very detailed. In-game, the Wells live in Haywood, but if you scope out the district, you'll notice that it's almost entirely apartments, so where it would be located is unknown. The next part of the montage shows a bit where you steal a briefcase off some guy in one of the booths at Lizzie's bar. In-game, this area should be familiar as you'll pass by it a few times during the main story when visiting Judy. It's the main hallway leading to the dressing room. In the block, it's rendered underneath the main street. It also appears to be housed in a giant great block, which is a bit strange. And it also includes a bit of the hallway around the corner that is not seen in the montage. Aside from that, it's about identical and even has the same photos and names above the booths. V and Jackie then deliver the briefcase to Padre at his basketball court. In-game, it's at Padre's marker on the map, but in the block, it's even further down from the Wells house. Only about 3/4 of the court is rendered, as that's all that was needed. The court decal and the surrounding fence are also a bit different. Padre sits at a table during the montage, which appears to still be present but pushed off to the side. The bleachers that he normally sits on were not rendered. Following that is the scene where V goes to buy a car. This car dealership is unsurprisingly not in Night City, as the only way to buy cars is through AutoFixer. Dealerships would be pretty cool though, especially for the more expensive cars. Anyways, even without visiting this place, a lot of people were able to note that the locale looked pretty similar to the Atlantis Club, a place that also appears to be in the montage, but we'll get to that later. In short, yes, this place actually sits just above the club in the custom block, and that chunk of space is suspended in the air above the Wells house. Sometimes V's car can get caught on the sales sign when spawning in. One of the signs is a fully solid sticker that you can stand on. Aside from the two cars, there's nothing else here. The back area isn't even lit, and the only other props are the counter of a bar and a corner booth that are slightly out of view during the montage. And the cars are surprisingly fully functional, meaning you can get in and drive around up here. V and Jackie then visit Misty and Viktor. I shouldn't have to tell you where these two places are in game, but in the custom block they're actually placed below the main street. They didn't bother rendering out the alleyway between the two shops, so Viktor's place sits disconnected and slightly lower. This big stretch of gray to the left is the area with Lizzie's bar. Compared to the in-game versions, these two spots are quite similar. Misty's has different prop detailing and Viktor's is missing any detailing from a small side room that is not visible during the montage. The room in Misty's that leads to the alleyway has no detailing either. Aside from that, they are structurally identical, and Viktor still has the long garage thing in the back that can be seen in the Night City version. The next scene in the montage is of V chasing a guy down an alleyway and Jackie tackling him into a dumpster. This alley is located above most of the other elements in the custom block, sort of up and behind the basketball court. The way they used it is kinda weird. The first shot is pretty straightforward, but the second shot is actually taken on the other side of the fences and debris. A little bit of movie magic. Then the third shot, where V chases the guy through a room, is an entirely separate area off to the side of the alley. The final shot is to the left of the first shot, although the dumpster is missing. The area beyond Jackie in this shot actually has a fair bit extra that isn't really visible in the montage. So to reiterate, this is where the first shot is. This is the second. Over here is the third. And this is the final one. This alleyway can be found in Northside next to the Tottentan's Club. The assets are different, but the overall layout is the same. V and Jackie are then shown having some fun at a club. As mentioned during the dealership part, this club is located in the air above the Wells house. After playing the story, you would probably assume that this is the Atlantis Club. The Atlantis is still present on the Night City map, although in the year 2077 it is inaccessible, so the entrance has been boarded up. The two clubs have the exact same layout, so at the minimum it was a reuse of assets. However, the montage version notably does not have any of the Atlantis branding, so unfortunately you can't definitively say that this is the club. Lore-wise, the Atlantis was the go-to hub for mercs and fixers before the Afterlife came along, but the Atlantis lacked the exclusivity that the Afterlife has, so it is a reasonable guess that V and Jackie could have been doing some of their early merc work here. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly when the club closed, just that by the time 2077 takes place, it is. I guess it's possible the club was open during the time skip and closed sometime in the middle or shortly after. But since V and Jackie don't reference it, I find it unlikely. They do talk about ascending to the major leagues when first arriving at the After, but that could just be generic "we made it" talk. Maybe it would have been kept open if this time period was playable instead of a montage. All that is to say, if this does exist in-game, it would be the Atlantis. Otherwise, it's just some random club with reused assets. After getting into a fight at the club, the duo are back in Jackie's bedroom at the Wells house. The two then barge in on a meeting between 6th Street and Kang Tao. This takes place in some sort of garage. In the custom block, it is located close to the Padre basketball court. The door can still be opened during gameplay, and the garage doors have a body check attribute. In Night City though, I'm not sure if it exists. If it does, it would be exceedingly hard to find as it is pretty generic looking. Structurally, it is nearly identical to the layout of Dakota's garage out in the Badlands. Could be an asset reuse here. Since this involves two different factions, they could be meeting anywhere, although I did poke around Santo because of 6th Street. I found some buildings with a similar looking setup of one door and two garage doors, but those weren't quite correct. If you're able to find something that looks similar, then let me know. V and Jackie then appear at a gun store where V purchases an assault rifle and Jackie his two signature pistols. In the custom block, this is right next to the Wells house. While many gun stores look similar to this one, it actually doesn't exist in Night City. The biggest tip is the Militech cases. I bounced around to different stores and none of them have these. The vendor also doesn't appear at any of the existing stores. V and Jackie are then seen fighting some tiger claws in another alleyway. In the custom block, it is located next to the garage where the 6th Street deal was. I believe this alley is located next to the Pinewood Junction terminal. Like the last alley, some assets are different, but there are a few identifying markers. V is then seen moving out of the Wells house, marking the third and final time this place is seen in the whole game. You also get a glimpse of a back room, which is actually nothing. In Juliet's house, this is a door leading to the basement. In Zuleika's house, it's the main floor bathroom. In Harris's house, it's just a wall. And lastly, the final location of the montage is V's apartment in Mega Building H10. It's located by the Wells house, although slightly higher in the air. The most interesting thing about this place is that there are two copies of the apartment next to each other. One of them is the bare apartment that is used for most of the scene. Then there's a second one purely for the mirror shot where they did the same trick from the Wells house. So once again, the mirror is not a reflection. In the mirrored apartment, the computer area was deleted to make room for the reflected parts. Some prop detailing such as stuff on the shelves and the projector were left from the in-game version. In the empty version, the front door has a lock attribute. There are plenty of doors in the game that V can unlock with enough tech, but I can't recall any instances of being able to relock doors, so that's kinda cool. The weapon room is missing the foam holders along the right wall, but given that the camera never turns in that direction, it makes sense that they didn't render it. The doors are the only things that work, so the bed, shower, mirror, and vending machine don't do anything in either of the rooms. Well, technically the mirror has a prompt to interact with it, but it doesn't do anything. And there we have all the scenes and their respective locations from the prologue montage. As always, if you have any questions about this place or anywhere else in Night City, drop a comment and I'll see if it's worth looking into. That does it for this video. Thanks for watching.